This is a heads-up story. This is something to be aware of because this may end up being a big deal, but as yet we do not know where it's going. Here's how it starts. Before retiring on Friday as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, a couple of weeks ago, Admiral Michael Mullen told the Senate something way more blunt than anybody expected, something that almost sounded like what you'd say to start a war or to explain after the fact why you already had started a war.
The Haqqani Network, for one, acts as a veritable arm of Pakistan's Internal Services Intelligence Agency. With ISI support, Haqqani operatives planned and conducted that truck bomb attack, as well as the assault on our embassy.
Speaking as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Mullen saying Pakistan has more or less directly been killing American soldiers. In this truck bombing in eastern Afghanistan, which wounded 77 Americans on the eve of this year's 9/11 anniversary, and in this big coordinated attack on the U.S. Embassy and the international military headquarters in Kabul last month. Admiral Mullen saying that when a group called the Haqqani Network mounts attacks like these on Americans, that Haqqani Network is Pakistan. In his words, it is a veritable arm of Pakistan's intelligence service. That's the kind of thing that does not usually get said out loud and directly. Because when the U.S. government says another country is killing U.S. troops out loud and directly, that's pretty close to the U.S. government saying, here we come, let us introduce you to the United States Marine Corps. But then, a few days after Mullen dropped that bombshell in the Senate, another one dropped. The New York Times quoting anonymous sources saying publicly for the first time that when U.S. and Afghan officers were ambushed at a meeting in Pakistan in 2007, they weren't ambushed by militants, by locals, by the Taliban or something. They were ambushed by the Pakistani officers the Americans were meeting with. Quote, at first, the meeting to resolve the border dispute seemed a success. Despite some tense moments, the delegations ate lunch together, exchanged phone numbers, and made plans to meet again. Then, as the Americans and Afghans prepared to leave, the Pakistanis opened fire without warning. The assault involved multiple gunmen, Pakistani intelligence agents, and military officers. Again, this happened in 2007, which means Americans have been keeping news of this ambush quiet for 4 years. What were they waiting for 4 years? Why have they decided to tell the story publicly now, after 4 years? Then, the unexpectedly brutal truth about Pakistan trifecta was completed today by named U.S. sources on the record. The headline in the USA Today newspaper, majority of IEDs are traced to Pakistan. Quote, from June through August, U.S. troops detected or were hit by more than 5,000 IEDs, the most for any 3-month period since the Afghanistan war began in 2001. Those bombs killed 63 troops and wounded more than 1,200. More than 80% of the IEDs are homemade explosives using fertilizer produced in Pakistan. So Pakistan effectively directs the activities of the group that attacked the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan last month and set off a truck bomb that wounded nearly 80 U.S. troops. Pakistani personnel directly attacked and killed an American major and wounded 3 other U.S. officers in 2007. Also, Pakistan, the primary source for the material for the bombs that are the primary means of killing Americans in the Afghanistan war. Okay. The single most shocking thing about those 3 news flashes is not that they are true. These things are awful news, but they are not shocking given what we know about Pakistan. What is shocking is that different parts of the U.S. government and the U.S. military are now letting us, the American public, know all of these things all at once in quick succession. Why are they telling us this now? Are they trying to prepare us for something?